The Walking Dead is a point-and-click adventure game released 5 years ago. I know, I'm late. But with 10,000 persons still playing this game every week, it's far from dead. I thought I'd take a look at this game that, while linear and single-player, can retain such a player base after 5 years. What I found surprised the hell out of me. I don't know what I was expecting, but I found one of the most emotionally captivating storylines in a video game I have found in... I don't even know how long. Seriously, if you play games for stories, this game has one. A damn good one at that. And if you don't cry by the end of it, you're dead inside. That's all I have to say. With an array of different, well-developed, if narrow-personalitied characters, there's so much to get attached to in this game, and considering the game is based off of the same comics that the TV show is based off of, you can guess that there's going to be some moments of loss and emotional grieving, both for the characters and for you, the player. I could go on endlessly about how amazing this story is, honestly. But to the dismay of those that love this game, there are a few flaws we have to go over to make this a serious review. The story alone, as a pro, is enough to sell millions of copies of this game, which it has, but there are flaws that are going to even out the final score for this game. The first thing I want to mention is a general misconception with the game. It seems to be advertised and spoken about like it's some sort of thrilling choose-your-own-adventure game. It's not. It's a point-and-click adventure game, like I said. Half of your time may be spent watching the story progress with the occasional choice that isn't just flavored dialogue, but the other half is spent walking around in sometimes the most horrible camera angles I have ever seen, looking for prompts and actions you can take to, get yourself the hell out of this point-and-click stuff and get to the story, the only thing anyone ever talks about with this game. The point-and-click portion is not bad. In fact, it's cool if you enjoy the point-and-click genre. But if you're in it for the story, the vagueness of what you have to do and the lack of direction in the point-and-click portions can get mildly annoying. Hence why I'm literally just walking around in circles in this one point in the game, trying to find a battery that the game gives you no hints on where it is, but it's actually on the floor, and I was stupid and just missed it for like 20 minutes. Also, something to note is there are a lot of quick-time events in this game, where if you fail, you die, or someone else story critical dies, and then you have to go back a checkpoint. Those were unexpected for a game like this. I'll let you all decide how you feel about that, because I know quick-time events are a sort of controversial thing in Western gaming. Now, this next thing can be considered a pro or a con, really. The writing of dialogue in The Walking Dead is on par with that of some emotional Hollywood experience. From a creative writing perspective, what this basically means is that it's great at evoking emotion and getting you attached, but the actual quality of what's written for the characters to say, it doesn't sound like realistic conversation and doesn't even sound like good on paper conversation material.
So,
Are you okay?
what? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
That's good.
Yeah, I think so. Being good is good, despite the circumstances.
Yep.
We'll sit tight.
Okay.
If you like generic Hollywood writing with zero depth but maximum emotional captivity, you'll love it. But if you wanted a bit more realism and depth to the way the characters interact with each other, well, you won't like this then. The graphics are alright, they're exactly what you would expect from this company in 2012, and maybe more than I expected from this genre, based on my previous experiences with this genre. This is more of a pro than a con unless you're someone that needs graphics. The biggest con to find here, though, is the animations. The animations are bad, which makes sense for this genre. It's the worst, though, with the facial expressions. Some of the facial expressions the characters make are hilariously disgusting and ugly at how failed of an attempt they are to mimic real-life expressions and reactions. The sounds that are there are good. They're impactful and realistic. They help add to the immersion of the game and reinforce what happens in the story. The sounds during the point-and-click portions of the game, though, there could have been more ambience, as everything seems rather empty and lifeless while you're not pushing through a storyline in this game. And now my biggest gripe with this game, which I have saved for last for those of you that are willing to make it past my lesser critiquing of this overwhelmingly positively received game. My biggest gripe is this. This is the biggest lie I have read all year. This game lets you make choices, sure, but it certainly doesn't adapt for more than a few minutes for any of them. The story does not adapt to how you play. If someone was supposed to die and you don't let them die or kill them yourself, whatever the choice might be, the game does it for you in every single occasion, usually very soon after. It's like it corrects course to try to get you on the linear story that the writers had imagined for the game. That's why, by the end, and this might be a slight spoiler, so I'll leave out specifics, every single person playing this game will find themselves with the exact same group of companions, give or take one very uninteresting side character. There are end-of-episode screens that show you your choices compared to the other choices that other persons that have played this game made, and reactions in-game to the choices you made will happen plenty of times with your dialogue with the characters. But none of them matter, because there's no lasting consequences for any of them other than someone scolding you or making some decision that another character or yourself will reverse within the next 3 seconds. The problem here is there's no consequences for any of your actions, good or bad. The story ends the same for everyone. Even if you do what the game considers to be the right thing, it will still punish you for doing the wrong thing if that's what the writers have decided is the choice that you should have picked. In fact, one of the biggest plot points of this game is based around just that. The point I'm trying to make is that this story never diverges for longer than one conversation. This is not a dynamic choose-your-own-adventure game. This is a linear story that tries to give you the illusion that you have a say in anything that happens at all, which you don't. Now that being said, assuming you aren't already writing a hate comment or haven't already disliked this and left because fuck this guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about, I still love this game. I love it, and I'm so happy I played this game, and I can't wait to play The Walking Dead Season 2, the direct sequel to this. That being said, there's a lot of design choices that hold this back from being a perfect game. I still recommend it, and I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is too generous for everything that's wrong with it, and 6 out of 10 is too harsh for everything that's right with it. This is quite simply a good game, and in my 10-point review score, that's what a 7 means. Good, but with plenty of room to improve. If you want a really damn good interactive story to follow, get this game. You'll love it. I did. Just make sure you're willing to look past all the flaws that the game has that I had to learn the hard way. Now, as any of you who may have watched or read any of my previous reviews know, I like to take on a very is it worth the price mentality at the end. So, full price, $25, for a 10 to 11 hour game for completionists and a much shorter game for those that are just kind of walking through the story, with a $5 DLC tacked onto the side to bridge the gap between this game and its sequel, with zero replayability to the story due to the linear nature of it and how your choices don't matter. No, don't get it at full price. Just wait for a sale. The game is worth it, it's not for full price. I really hope this review helped. And based on the reviews this game has received before, I hope you don't all hate my guts. And I'll see you guys on the next Res Reviews.